This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to you on this Monday. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant. Hope you had a great weekend. Busy for a lot of folks with the caucus in Kentucky. It's now Monday, March 7th. Here we go.
Now at 6 a.m., we're tracking a major traffic alert on Interstate 64. What you need to know before you hit the road this morning.
Also, police are investigating a shooting at a central Kentucky gas station where nobody was hurt because of what police say a clerk on duty did.
And reviewing Kentucky's Republican caucus, what the party is saying about Saturday's turnout.
Seeing temperatures outside in the 40s and 50s. Good start to your Monday. We head throughout your afternoon. Check out this temperature, 68 degrees. Good day, but you know what? That's one of the coolest days in the forecast. I'll show you skyrocketing temperatures coming up.
All right. Finally, a feeling of spring. We thank you.
Well, we begin this morning with developing a traffic alert for you. A semi-crash has a stretch of I-64 closed. The crash happened in Carter County west of Olive Hill. I-64 eastbound shut down. Dispatchers say drivers are being diverted to US 60 in Rowan County at the Moorhead exit.
Now, this is video just into our newsroom showing the traffic backup on I-64 in Rowan County resulting from that detour. Dispatchers say the semi that wrecked was hauling thousands of gallons of propane when it crashed into a tree. So that gives you a hint about the potential environmental concerns and why it may take a while. The driver was not hurt. The propane is said to not be leaking, but they're being very, very careful, certainly at that scene on I-64 in northeastern Kentucky this morning.
Well, a clerk at a central Kentucky gas station being credited for possibly saving a man's life.
And that clerk broke up an argument that ended with shots being fired. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in Frankfort with reaction from that clerk this morning. Mike?
A clerk at this Franklin County BP gas station played the role of hero over the weekend after he broke up a fight, which ultimately led to a shooting. The Franklin County Sheriff says the incident happened at this BP on 127 North. This is just north of Frankfort in what is usually a quiet area. It started when two men walked into the store arguing. That's when clerk Alex Steiger stepped in between the two men to break up the argument. Steiger says he grabbed a hold of the person who was causing most of the conflict, giving the other man enough time to get outside and into his vehicle. Thinking the situation was over, Steiger says that's when he heard 5 to 6 shots fired at the man who was taking off in his vehicle. The shooter then fled the scene, but not before the clerk was able to give his description and license plate number to deputies. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the shooting. Even while now knowing what happened out in the parking lot and that the man had a gun, Steiger says he would not change how he reacted.
He told me that as brave as it was and as stupid as it was, I saved his life. Well, I just view it as doing what any human person should do. It's just the way you should take care of the world.
Now, Steiger says investigators told him the fight is potentially related to a heroin bust the sheriff's office made just a few days prior. Live in Franklin County, I'm Mike Byer, WKYT.
All right, Mike, thank you very much for that report out of Frankfort.
Yeah, it was a big weekend in Kentucky politics, of course. Voting continues tomorrow in 4 special legislative elections.
No break from politics in Kentucky. Today, Kentucky's Secretary of State is going to be introducing a bill that could change when we vote, that is, let you vote earlier. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk to explain that. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes is meeting with lawmakers at 1 this afternoon to try to gain support for a bill that would allow people to vote early without giving a reason. Now, Grimes has proposed Senate Bill 290, and she is enlisting the help of Trey Hargett, Tennessee Secretary of State. Tennessee has already passed early voting legislation. In their presidential preference primary 6 days ago, more than 375,000 people voted early, a record high for the state. As it stands now in Kentucky, if you want to mail in an absentee ballot, you have to meet certain requirements. To name a few, if you have a disability, serve in the military, or work outside your county while your polling place is open, you can vote absentee. Of course, that could change if House Bill 290 is adopted by the end of the General Assembly in April. Now, while we do not have a timetable yet for this bill, if it is made law, people would likely be allowed to vote early without giving a reason for it in the November presidential election. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
A lot of people have appointments or other reasons why they can't get in there during that 6 to 6 poll opening in Kentucky as it stands right now. Well, this morning, the Republican Party of Kentucky is assessing the weekend caucus here. It was the first caucus in Kentucky in decades, first ever for the Republicans. Party leaders were not sure what to expect, but 229,000 people turned out to vote Saturday. That's more than the 2012 Republican presidential primary, when the results were pretty clear that Romney was going to win that year. Donald Trump gained the most delegates from Kentucky's caucus. Ted Cruz came in a close second. Kentucky's Democratic presidential primary is coming up on May 17th. The Kentucky caucus happened this year, of course, because Senator Rand Paul's presidential campaign, he wanted to run for that and for re-election. Paul suspended his race after Iowa's caucus last month, but his name, along with several other candidates who also had dropped out, was still on the ballot. Senator Paul posted pictures on social media of him voting in the caucus, but he would not say who he voted for.
Well, I'm not going to endorse anybody in the race, and so I'll probably keep that private. I'm going to stay out of it. I won't let Kentucky Republicans make their decision. I said my piece. I, had a few disagreements with many of the people on the stage, and I think that adds to the debate, and I think I did my job, and now sort of my job is to try to bring everybody together and not continue to divide it up.
Paul's campaign spent about $250,000 to make the caucus happen.
Well, state police are investigating a deadly crash in Wolfe County. It was the second deadly crash on Kentucky 715 over the weekend. Troopers say 67-year-old Forrest Roberts crashed into an embankment. The crash killed his passenger, 52-year-old Marvin King. Roberts was taken to the hospital. We do not know his condition right now. Well, work begins this week on a new walkway over US 60 in Frankfort that will connect to the Kentucky State University campus. Right now, there is a tunnel under the busy road. The new $5 million walkway will have an elevator in addition to stairs. KSU President Raymond Burse says the walkway will increase safety. The Transportation Cabinet expects to complete the walkway by January.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Really doesn't matter which zone you are in outside, north, south, east, or west. I mean, it's a really good looking start to the day. Kids going off to the bus stop will have no problems whatsoever. Maybe a light coat just due to the fact we're there in the 40s. Good flow there on the interstates, I-75 Winchester Road. I-75 looks really good. You go 64 from Lexington to Louisville, it looks just fine, but Lexington heading over toward Moorhead. Once you hit Moorhead at mile marker 136, you're going to be running into a detour, and that's going to be detouring around the wreck there in Carter County. So it's right near the Carter County and Rowan County line. Just keep that in mind as you're heading eastbound on I-64. You'll actually hit a detour there in Rowan County at Moorhead. Speaking of Moorhead, 46 degrees, 50 degrees now in Richmond. Monticello coming in at 53. Good start to the day. You got to love that. By the afternoon, 68 degrees. And actually, this is one of the coolest temperatures in the forecast. We get through the next few days and we're talking 70s, but still 68 on a Monday. You got to love that. Mixture of sun and clouds later on this afternoon. Those winds pumping in that milder air, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So no doubt about it, spring is in the air, and it does not stop today. It doesn't stop the next few days. I mean, this takes you a long period of time. 10 to 14 days out, I still don't see any type of signal saying, okay, here comes a good shot of cold air. I'm just not seeing it. So the next several days look really nice. Dry with temperatures there in the 70s. You got to love that. Once we hit midweek, we're talking mid to upper 70s there on Thursday. It all depends on the cloud cover and also the rain chances there in the forecast. Speaking of rain chances in the forecast, it'll be later on this work week. You get off toward Friday and off towards your weekend, and that's when you can expect that rain there in the forecast heading off towards your weekend. It's not a lot of rain, but still the rain is there. So the next few days, Rebecca, we're talking dry conditions now through Wednesday, maybe even off into Thursday too. And not only that, but 70s in the forecasts.
I don't even know what to do with myself.
I know. We've done something right around here. I don't know what it is, but it's nice.
Each morning we bring you weather and traffic. Here's Officer Don with a look at what's happening out there on this Monday.
Good morning. No wrecks working right now. And we'll actually take that back. We do have one we're going to tell you about an I-64 eastbound. This one's going to be near the Moorhead exit right now. Police are working that, so expect issues on the interstate eastbound 64 until we get a little better picture of when they're going to be able to get that back open. As far as an overall look at Lexington rush hour traffic in real time at the moment, see we're okay as we head toward 64 to take a look real quick. But other than that, Circle looks okay, and so does Nicholasville Road, and that takes us to our drive times, which coming in from Jessamine County right now, all as well, just normal stuff, about 14 minutes. From Georgetown, 13. From Paris, 18. 33 minutes from Winchester. We'll keep you up to date throughout the morning. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, we know you will. As always, we thank you very much, Don. Our time is almost 6:10 on this spring-like start to the week. It's really good, isn't it? More news on the way.
Remembering Nancy Reagan, who many say redefined the role of First Lady. I'm Terry Okita at the Reagan Presidential Library with more on her passing.
Welcome back in. It is 6:13 on your Monday morning. America mourning the loss of former First Lady Nancy Reagan, who died at her California home Sunday at the age of 94.
Terry Okita has more from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum in Simi Valley, California.
A steady stream of mourners stopped at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum Sunday to leave flowers and pay respects to former First Lady Nancy Reagan.
I thought she brought a lot of classiness to the position of First Lady.
Nancy Reagan died of congestive heart failure Sunday at her Los Angeles home. Mrs. Reagan was known for being her husband's fiercest protector and most trusted advisor. She was an advocate for stem cell research following former President Reagan's diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease in 1994. Congregants where the Reagans worshipped at Bel Air Presbyterian Church talked about the former First Lady after Sunday services.
She was genuinely considerate of the people around her, and she always greeted everyone with a smile, as did her husband.
Nancy Reagan's best-known project as First Lady was the Just Say No campaign, aimed at keeping kids and teenagers away from drugs. Though she had her critics, her admirers will remember her for restoring grace and elegance to the White House. President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama said in a statement that Nancy Reagan redefined the role of First Lady. She will be buried alongside her husband at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. Terry Okita, CBS News, Simi Valley, California.
And funeral arrangements for Mrs. Reagan are still being worked out at this point. The Reagan Library says the public will have an opportunity to pay respects at the library before she is buried. And in early November of 1984, then First Lady Nancy Reagan visited Lexington. She went to Shriners Hospital. We have dug up some video from that visit. Her visit part of a political campaign trip for the upcoming election, which was the following Tuesday. The 1984 visit to Lexington was her only solo visit to Kentucky while she was First Lady.
Well, the Democratic candidates for president are turning their attention to Michigan. And Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders tangled during a CNN debate last night in Flint, Michigan. Both candidates called for Michigan's governor to resign, of course, amid that ongoing water crisis there. They also went head-to-head on their differences in economic policy.
I voted to save the auto industry. He voted against the money that ended up saving the auto industry.
If you are talking about the Wall Street bailout, where some of your friends destroyed this economy, excuse me, I'm talking.
Well, earlier in the night, Sanders snagged his 8th presidential contest win in Maine. On the Republican side, Florida Senator Marco Rubio picked up 23 delegates in Puerto Rico. A 6-hour standoff at a factory in Sydney, Australia, ended when police say the gunman killed himself. Police say the gunman shot and killed one person inside that factory and injured 2 others. 3 other workers were also reported being held hostage and walked out safely. Denver Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning is retiring as a champion. The 39-year-old Manning will announce today that he is ending his 18-year NFL career. The 5-time NFL MVP owns dozens of league passing records. He led Denver to victory over Carolina in Super Bowl 50.
All right, what a career it was for him, and we will see what is next for Peyton Manning. Our time this morning is 6:17 on WKYT. You may have noticed gasoline prices are inching up a little bit. Prices jumped about 25% in the past month as oil prices rebound and refineries do their seasonal maintenance. AAA says the national average is now $1.81 a gallon, and drivers should expect prices to climb another 30 to 50 cents a gallon by Memorial Day. Applegate Farms is recalling its Naturals chicken nuggets in 8-ounce packages because there may be small pieces of plastic in the product. Those packages have a best before date of September 27th, 2016. You can return your package to the store where you purchased it for a full refund. Amazon has changed course and says it will restore encryption on Fire tablets with a software update this spring. The tech giant first announced it would no longer support data encryption last week, saying customers were not using the service. But the very next day, Amazon changed course after a lot of customer complaints. The change comes as Apple squares off against the FBI over access to an encrypted iPhone. The world's largest aircraft is getting ready for liftoff. The Airlander 10 was originally developed for the U.S. Army back in 2010, but the project was abandoned. The hybrid air vehicle is now available for commercial use. The Airlander 10 can carry up to 10 tons. It could transport 48 passengers and fly continuously for 5 days. It does not need a runway. It can even land on water. So there you go. Is that part of the future, Rebecca?
But only 48 passengers.
Well, right. But you would think if it could carry that much cargo, I guess they could, reconfigure it, right? So,
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if it takes off. WKYT This Morning is just getting started, going gaga over a freezing lake. Why some celebrities showed up to take the plunge.
And we're looking for really nice weather to kick off your work week, and it doesn't stop here. It continues all the way through your week and off into your weekend. I'll show you the upward swing coming up next.